Hey y'all, welcome back. So today I am planting the forsythia that you see behind me. I'm gonna need potting soil, 2 shovels, and a bucket to hold the soil. And then of course your plant and the location that you want it planted. Now keep in mind you have to plant this where the light and the water and competition are going to be adequate and where this plant is going to thrive. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take my shovel and circle around this pot, because that's going to kind of give me an estimate of how big this root ball is. And then I'm going to dig out just the outline of what this is going to be, and taking this soil here and putting it into a pot to save for later, because it's still good soil, you just won't be using it. So the reason I am using a shovel, a little tiny shovel instead of a big one, is because I'm right by a house, and with houses come wire, and if you break one, like I have learned from experience, it sucks, especially if it's something like your internet, or you can't really break water lines. But anything like that, you really don't want to have to sit and wait if you do something because you want to plant your stuff. Okay, so the hole has been dug. I've gotten an arm workout. I think it's time to call it a day. Just kidding, you're not going to do that. What you're going to do is take it out of the pot, or of your hole, and you're actually going to dig another probably outside ring. I'll show you once I get it dug, but you're going to make it bigger than the actual root ball, and I will tell you why in a minute. Okay, the hole has been dug even bigger, and my arms are even more tired. But the reason that we do this is because, do you see this difference in color soil right here? This is beautiful. We love this soil. We want it all the time. This is clay. This is landscaping. Well, this is construction soil. So what happens is when you build a house, you have to pack it down a lot, and that's why it's so hard, is because if you don't, your house is gonna concave in itself, and that's not fun, right? But it's not fun for the plants because they strip all of that soil up and then they go sell it. So now you're left with this and then a little bit of this, which you've probably mulched over the years. So what I'm gonna do is, this poor plant is dead. You see these leaves, or these roots right here, they're brown, they're not living anymore, they're toast. So what I'm gonna do is take the shovel to them, and before you scream at your computer, this is actually something that's going to help the roots. When I first saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? But it was actually my boss. He was like, it's perfectly okay. The roots are gonna go back. They're strong. They'll be fine. Especially with these woody perennials that have a lot of safe storage up. They'll be okay. This is just giving the roots a little more space to grow. And it's kind of telling them, hey, you're in a new place now. Go, be free, enjoy yourself. Don't be confined to these little pots that the box stores give you. That's why it's so important to go to a local nursery when you're sourcing your plants, because if you don't have the expertise or the time or the energy or the knowledge, you could end up planting something like this and it fail within 1 or 2 years. I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys. It's definitely happened to me, where I'm like, why is that not doing good? Well, it wasn't doing good when you started. So after that has been torn up, the roots have been given the signal, I'm going to lay it down in this hole here and start backfilling it. And this is basically the old soil. So yes, there's some clay in here. Go and crumple it up and put it all around. And then I'm gonna layer it like a cake. Layer it like a delicious plant cake that you can't eat but you'll still enjoy. So just layer this, and this is topsoil. The reason I don't put compost on it is because I am doing this in the winter. Well, not in the winter, but in the fall. And I don't want the plant to say, oh my gosh, I'm getting all this fertilizer, it's time to grow. And then the frost just kill it. You can do that in the spring. That's what's called top dressing. And that will give the plant a little bit of energy in the spring to give you gorgeous blooms throughout the season. So now is the next layer. Just stuff that in there. And then we're going to do one more layer. Oops, got to make sure that it's even. Definitely don't want a lopsided plant. Shove that sucker in there. And don't pack the soil too much. It was already packed before, and so what you've done is kind of loosened it up. That's why there's this outer ring here. And you're filling it with better soil. You don't want to go and take everything that you've just done and ruin that by compacting the soil. Don't do that. Just a little tap to make sure that all the soil's kind of situated in there, but nothing more than that, okay? So then, one last layer of this clay. Pull these roots out. See, these poor things are dead. They're gone. But there will be new ones. And so the reason it looks like this is partially because it hasn't been taken care of. 2, it is about to go dormant for the winter. That's what happens to the forsythias here. Those are the big yellow flowering bushes in the spring. They look really pretty. But the reason that the big box store was selling it is because it was looking like this. And it didn't have any blooms on it, of course, because it wasn't spring. And so I took it home and I'm rescuing it and putting it in the garden, and it's gonna look so good. So this right here is top dressing. Like I've said, you basically put, this is some topsoil, so it's not super nutritious. It might look like that because it's black, but I don't know if that's dye or whatnot. But you just fill it up here, and then the nutrients will soak down or leach down, like nitrogen. Nitrogen's a very mobile nutrient. It will go down into the soil and give your plants a jump start. Ta-da! So here is the aftermath. We have a planted plant, this forsythia here. We've got a whole bunch of old soil that we can take and put in a different bed, and then we're done. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you soon. Bye.